Beloved child, be still for a moment, not to escape the world, but to allow your soul to open before my breath. For what I am about to speak is not a temporary comfort, nor a fleeting soothing for your weary heart. This is a call from the deep places of heaven, a word that was inscribed long before your first cry was ever heard. I am not speaking to you about something that might happen. I am declaring what has already been established. As it is written, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:5. Therefore, what you are stepping into is not coincidence, but the unfolding of a plan written by my own hand. And in this very hour, you must understand that a former season has come to its close, not because you have done enough, nor because you have understood everything, but because I have determined that its time has ended. The days when you were hidden, the moments you were misunderstood, the times you felt misplaced, none of these were abandonment, but part of a process I permitted to shape you. Yet now, that veil is no longer allowed to remain. My light is shining directly upon you, not to expose weakness, but to reveal the true worth I placed within you from the beginning. As I have spoken, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. You are no longer in obscurity, you are stepping into clarity, where everything I have placed within you will be seen for what it truly is. But understand this deeply. My child, this transition is not merely a change of circumstances, it is a heavenly establishment. It is a marking that is recognized not only on earth, but in the unseen realm. I am bringing you into a new phase, not through passing emotion, but through the authority of the covenant I have made with you. As it is written, the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Romans 11:29. You are not stepping in because you feel ready by your own standards, but because I have determined that the appointed time has come. Remember the story of David when he was still an unknown shepherd, unseen, unrecognized, even overlooked when the prophet came to anoint a new king. Yet I saw him in the wilderness, and I chose him from the place no one was looking. When Samuel anointed David, he did not immediately sit on the throne. He returned to tending sheep, continuing in what seemed ordinary. But from that moment, a process was set in motion that no one could reverse. And when the time came, no force, not Saul, not war, not opposition could stop my word from being fulfilled. So it is with you, my child. You may have been anointed long ago, but now is the time for that anointing to be revealed. Do not measure your timing by your circumstances. Do not let what you see cause you to doubt what I have spoken. You do not move according to the rhythm of the world, you move according to the rhythm of heaven. As it is written, for everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. And your time is no longer ahead of you, it is here. Now, I know there are still places within your heart that hesitate, still questions that quietly ask whether you are truly worthy to step into what lies before you. But I have never called you based on your perfection. I have called you according to my purpose. If I have spoken, no one has the authority to deny it. If I have opened a door, no one can shut it. As it is written, what he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. Revelation 3-7. Therefore, stop looking back with regret, and do not remain still because of fear. What I am doing does not require the agreement of circumstances, nor the approval of people. It requires your obedience. Walk forward, not with complete understanding, but with a steadfast trust that I am the one leading you. As it is written, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3-5-6. My beloved, this is not the hour for you to ask, what will happen? This is the hour for you to answer. I am ready, for I am not merely changing what surrounds you, I am repositioning you within an eternal design. And when I have determined that you must step forward, every door that needs to open will open. Every path that must be made straight will be made straight. And everything that once resisted you will yield to what I am establishing. Walk in peace, not because everything is fully clear, but because I have spoken, and my word never returns void. My beloved, look back on your journey, not with accusation, but with the deeper understanding I am now awakening within you. There were seasons when you felt buried, forgotten in the flow of life, like a grain of dust unseen by anyone. But I tell you the truth, not a single moment of your life has been meaningless in my sight. When you were hidden, it was not a place of confinement, but a place where I covered you with wisdom you could not yet fully comprehend. As it is written, He will hide me in His shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of His tent. Psalm 27:5. I placed you in that secret place, not to diminish you, but to protect what I had planted within you from eyes that were not yet mature enough to recognize it. Understand this, not everyone who sees you is capable of supporting you, and not every open door is a blessing. There are places that, if entered too soon, would wound your soul, either through the immaturity of others or through your own lack of preparation at the time. That is why I restrained you, not because you were unworthy, but because I would not allow anything to touch what had not yet been completed within you. Like a gardener who never exposes a seed to the sun before it has taken root, I preserved you in hidden depths where no one could see, so that what I placed within you could grow strong and secure. And now, when I declare that the season of concealment has ended, this is not a distant promise. It is the confirmation that everything within you has reached the fullness of maturity I intended. Remember the story of Joseph, who was thrown into a pit, sold as a commodity, misunderstood, and forgotten in prison. From a human perspective, it was a chain of injustice and failure. Yet I used those very places of darkness to form within him a strength that no throne could ever produce on its own. And when the appointed time came, I did not need years to elevate him in a single day. He rose from the prison to the palace. As it is written, the Lord was with Joseph, and he prospered. Genesis 39:2. And that truth did not begin when he was exalted. It began while he was still hidden and overlooked. So it is with you, my beloved. What you have called buried time has been the very place where I have been preparing you for a transition you could never have created by your own strength. And now, my child, you are standing at a threshold that your own soul has already begun to sense, a movement that cannot be explained by reason, a shift that does not originate from outward circumstances, but rises from the depths where I am touching you. You can feel that something is different, the way you see the world, the way you respond to people, the way you understand yourself. This is not coincidence. It is the evidence of a new reality being established within you. As it is written, Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it shall spring forth. Shall you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. This new work does not begin in your circumstances, it begins in your soul. I am drawing you out of the old patterns that once shaped you, limiting thoughts, fear-driven reactions, perspectives that caused you to withdraw. Those patterns once served a purpose in an earlier season, but they are no longer sufficient to contain what I am now unfolding. If you try to hold on to them, they will become obstacles. Therefore, I am not merely inviting you to step out, I am compelling you to release them. Not so that you lose something, but so that you can receive something greater. My beloved, what I am establishing is not a surface-level upgrade, it is a transformation of your very nature. You are not simply being placed into a new position, You are being formed into the person who can sustain and operate within that position. Every dimension of your being is being adjusted. Your spirit is deepening. Your thinking is expanding. Your vision is widening. Your influence is strengthening. This is the frequency of the called, a rhythm of life no longer governed by circumstances, but directed by my presence. Just as Esther was brought into the palace not merely to wear a crown, but to rise at the appointed moment and deliver an entire people, so you are being positioned within a reality where every step you take carries meaning far beyond yourself. And who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther 4:14. You are not here by chance. You are here because I have ordained it. So do not be afraid when everything around you begins to shift. Do not attempt to return to what is familiar simply because it feels more comfortable. You cannot live in a new reality with an old mindset. You cannot walk in new light while carrying old limitations. Allow me to renew you from within. As it is written, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, Romans 12:2. Now, you are no longer one who waits. You are becoming one who is sent, not by your own strength, but by my commissioning. And once I have set you into this rhythm, no force will be able to pull you back into what is behind you. Walk forward, not because you understand everything, but because you trust that I am leading you. And with every step you take, you will discover this truth. I am not only going before you, I am walking with you. And I, myself, am the firm foundation beneath your feet. My beloved child, listen deeply within your soul. For what I am doing is no longer small or subtle, as it once seemed. I am restoring you to your true position, a place that will astonish even you when you fully recognize it. But you must understand this. This shift is not merely an external relocation, not simply about where you stand or what you do. It is a transformation in how you are seen first in the eyes of heaven, and then in the eyes of people. I am redefining your role at its very core. Where once you searched for a path, feeling your way forward in uncertainty, now I am placing within you the capacity to open paths that did not previously exist. As it is written, I will go before you and make the crooked places straight, Isaiah 45:2. Yet now it is not only that I go before you, I am forming you into one who opens the way for others. Receive this by faith, for you are no longer positioned as one who waits for miracles. I am moving you into a reality where you yourself become a vessel of release. This does not mean you become the source. I remain the source, but you become the channel through which life flows. As it is written, whoever believes in me, out of his heart will flow rivers of living water, John 7:38. And this is no longer a distant promise. It is becoming a living experience within you. You will begin to see that places once closed to you now open of their own accord. Not because you have tried harder, but because I have repositioned you within the spiritual order. You will also recognize that environments which once failed to perceive your value will begin to seek you, not because they have suddenly changed, but because the light I placed within you is no longer hidden. Roles that once seemed beyond your reach will begin to feel natural, as though you were created to stand within them. And this is true. For I do not act according to the limitations you once believed about yourself. I act according to the true identity I wove into your soul from the beginning. As it is written, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. What I am bringing you into is not new to me. It is only new to your awareness. Remember Gideon, who saw himself as the least in the weakest family. When I called him, I did not call him according to his own perception. I called him according to what I had placed within him. I spoke to him, the Lord is with you. Mighty warrior, Judges 6:12. Even as he was hiding in fear. Do you see? I did not wait for Gideon to become strong before calling him. I called him in order to make him strong. And as he began to walk in my word, his true identity emerged, surpassing every false label he had once believed. So it is with you, my child. I do not define you by your past. I define you by the purpose I have placed within you. Therefore, hear this clearly. I am removing from you the old labels you once carried, words that caused you to doubt yourself, judgments that caused you to shrink, memories that distorted how you saw who you are. These no longer have authority over you. You are not the product of your wounds, nor the sum of your mistakes. You are not shaped by what you have lost, but by what I have established. As it is written, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, all things have become new. 2 Corinthians 5:17. And this newness is not merely a feeling, it is a reality. I am bringing you back to the original form I ordained for you from the very beginning, the form of one who is chosen, one who is sent, one who is entrusted with responsibility. This is not a title for you to take pride in, but a position for you to walk in humility and obedience. For the more clearly you understand who you are in me, the more you will realize that everything you carry comes from me. And in that realization, you will no longer move with hesitation, but with a steady and grounded confidence. Do not fear this transformation, even if at first it feels unfamiliar. You are learning to live as your true self, a version of you that was once hidden beneath layers of limitations that never truly belonged to you. Allow me to teach you how to stand in this new position, how to think from this new perspective, how to act from this new foundation. As it is written, he makes my feet like the feet of a deer, he sets me on my high places. Psalm 18:33. From that place, everything will appear different, not because the world has changed, but because you have been lifted into a new vantage point. My beloved, I am not only changing where you stand, I am changing who you are within that place. And as you walk in this true identity, you will no longer strive to become something. You will simply live as what you were created to be. And there, peace, power, and purpose will converge within you, forming a flow that cannot be stopped, because it does not originate from you, but from me, the one who called you, who is leading you, and who will complete what I have begun in you. My child, open your heart to understand this fully. What I am doing in you does not stop at restoring who you are. It reaches into the very purpose for which you were created. I am not only redefining your identity, I am realigning your mission. And you must know this: your calling has never been delayed as you once thought. There is no delay in my design. What you have called waiting has simply been the time I have held things back so they could be positioned correctly in the right order, at the right moment. As it is written, though the vision tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay. Habakkuk 2:8. And now, that appointed time is no longer ahead of you. It is unfolding before you. The questions that once echoed within you, when, why not yet, what is still missing, no longer have a place. For I have opened the door of timing. And when I open, nothing can hold it back. What was once a quiet stirring within your heart will now become tangible action, clear steps, and movements you yourself will begin to recognize. I am breathing life into the vision you have carried for so long. I am placing within you a fire that will not allow you to remain still. This is not impulsiveness, it is a holy urgency from me, a movement that carries direction, purpose, and strategy. As it is written, blessed is the one who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, but delights in the law of the Lord. Psalm 1:1-2. You will no longer walk in uncertainty, but in clarity that comes from my leading. Remember Nehemiah, a man who was neither a king nor powerful in the eyes of the world. Yet I placed within his heart a burden for the broken walls of Jerusalem. At first, it was only a quiet concern within him. But when the time came, I opened doors before him from the king's favor to the provision of resources. From protection to support, Nehemiah was no longer simply a man troubled by a problem. He became a man of action, a builder, a leader. As it is written, "The God of heaven will give us success. We, his servants, will arise and build." Nehemiah 2:20. So it is with you, my beloved. What I have placed in your heart was never meant to remain a thought. It was meant for you to step into and fulfill when the appointed time is revealed. And you will begin to realize that opportunities, doors, and spheres of influence will come to you faster than you think you are ready for. Do not let that unsettle you. This is not a season for you to strive and pull yourself upward by your own strength. This is a season where I propel you forward. When I move you, you do not need to compete. When I open, you do not need to knock. As it is written, "See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it." Revelation 3:8. What matters is not how perfectly prepared you feel, but whether you are willing to step when I open the way. But listen carefully to the deeper work I am doing within you. I am not only bringing you into action, I am expanding your influence beyond anything you have previously imagined. You are not called merely to live a good life for yourself. You are called to become a point of contact through which life flows into others. And this influence does not end in the present, it will extend across generations. As it is written, "The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will still bear fruit in old age." Psalm 92:12-14. This speaks of a current that is not bound by time, an impact that does not end when your life does. You will lead without forcing, because the authority you carry comes from my presence, not from your effort. You will build without striving, because the foundation you stand on is not competition, but calling. You will open paths for those who come after you without needing to prove anything, because your life itself will become the evidence. Remember Moses, he was not confident, nor was he a hero by the world's standard. Yet when he remained in my hand, he became the one who led an entire people out of bondage, not because he was flawless, but because he was obedient. As it is written, "I will be with you." Exodus 3:12. And that presence made all the difference. My beloved, Usti, I've ordained that this flow of influence will pass through you like water through a channel designed with precision. You do not need to strive to become the source. I am the source. Your part is to remain clear, unblocked by fear, doubt, or pride. When you abide in me, the flow will move naturally through you, reaching people you may never meet, yet who will still be touched by what I release through your life. Those who come after you will walk in the paths you have traced, not because you were without fault, but because you were faithful in your journey, not because you were more capable than others, but because you chose to remain in my hands, even when it was not easy. As it is written, "Whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much." Luke 16:10. And that faithfulness will become your true legacy. Therefore, do not shrink back when I expand you. Do not doubt when I move you faster than what you are accustomed to. Walk forward with the confidence that I know exactly what I am doing. And with every step you take, you will begin to see this truth unfold. Your mission is no longer something you are searching for. It is something you are living. Influence is no longer something you strive to produce. It flows naturally from you as you abide in me. And all of this does not begin from your ability, but from me, the one who has called you, who is leading you, and who will complete what I have ordained through your life. My beloved, be still in a deep breath and open your soul wide. For what I am revealing to you is no longer fragmented pieces. but a complete reality being placed into your hands. I am not calling you into partial abundance. I am bringing you into a realm of fullness, where every dimension of your life, your spirit, your emotions, your work, your relationships, your resources, your direction, and even your rhythm of living is being elevated into a new order. This is not an illusion for you to imagine. It is a reality I have already inscribed in the heavens. As it is written, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Psalm 23:1. This does not merely speak of basic provision, but of a state of being fully sustained and encompassed by my supply. So when you begin to sense the change within you, your thoughts becoming clearer, your mind more steady, your steps more decisive, do not be surprised. This is not self-improvement. It is the sign that I am opening the eyes of your spirit so you can perceive what I am doing. As it is written, that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, that you may know the hope of his calling. Ephesians 1:18. You are no longer walking in uncertainty. You are being positioned as one who sees, understands, and acts in alignment with the right moment. Stand upright, my child, and take a deep breath. For this is not an ordinary moment, this is a marker. I am sealing a new season upon your life. Not a season of waiting, but a season of operation. Not a season of preparation, but a season of expression. And I declare it clearly, your time has come. Yet sit before me, not in passive rest, but in readiness to be trained in how to walk within what I am opening. What you are receiving is not merely an opportunity, it is a structured process, governed by principles and rhythms that you must understand so you do not lose what has been entrusted to you. When you understand how I move, your heart will no longer be shaken by outward circumstances. As it is written, a wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. Proverbs 1:5. I do not only lead you, I teach you how to walk. Look at Joseph. He carried a dream from me, yet he was not brought into its fulfillment immediately. I led him through places that seemed contrary to the promise, from the pit to the prison, but within those very places, I refined his capacity for governance, his faithfulness, and his strategic vision. When the appointed time came, he was not merely elevated, he was prepared to operate at the highest level. As it is written, the king sent and released him, made him lord of his house. Psalm 105:20-21. Do you see? Elevation is only what is visible. The inner formation is what determines everything. Look at Moses. He once believed he was not capable. He once fled from the very calling placed upon him. Yet I did not overlook him. I led him into the wilderness, not to discard him, but to train him. In that desolate place, I taught him how to listen, how to obey, how to recognize that power does not originate from himself. And when I sent him back to Egypt, he was no longer a fugitive, he became a deliverer. As it is written, I will be with your mouth and teach you what you shall say. Exodus 4:12. I do not seek perfection in you, I cultivate readiness within you. And then, remember Esther. She did not rush into her position. I placed her into a process of refinement step by step, stage by stage, so that when the decisive moment arrived, she possessed not only position, but the wisdom to act at the right time. When an entire nation stood in danger, she rose, not in panic, but in conviction. As it is written, if I perish, I perish. Esther 4:16. That was not recklessness, it was maturity and purpose. My beloved, these three were not merely elevated, they were trained to sustain what they received. And that very process is what I am working out within you. I do not desire that you merely touch something great, I desire that you operate in it with endurance. I do not desire that you only step in, I desire that you stand firm. Therefore, Do not rush ahead before you understand my rhythm. Do not act simply because a door has opened. Act according to the way I have taught you. I am teaching you when to move, when to pause, when to speak, and when to remain silent. When you understand this rhythm, you will no longer be carried by circumstances. You will begin to lead them through my presence within you. As it is written, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. That stillness is not passive inactivity. It is the foundation for right action. When you stand upon that foundation, you will move with boldness, no longer shaken by outward turbulence, because you will know what is being established within you. My child, I am not only bringing you into a new season, I am forming within you a new person, a mature warrior who knows how to keep the rhythm, how to open the way, and how to lead. And as you walk in that understanding, you will not only live within a new reality, you will become one who establishes that reality for those around you. Rise, stand firm, and move forward. For what I have begun in you, I will bring to completion without lack, without deviation, without delay. And you will see, every word I have spoken is not merely a word, it is life taking form within you. My beloved, let your heart become still once more. For I am not merely reminding you of old stories, I am revealing to you the mechanism of your own journey. You must understand this, not only with your mind, but with your spirit. I always allow you to see beforehand what I intend to do, not to make you complacent, but to give your heart a foundation to stand upon when the process becomes difficult to understand. As it is written, surely the Lord God does nothing unless he reveals his secret to his servants. Amos 3:7. Therefore, what you have seen, what you have sensed in moments of clarity, these are not imagination. They are glimpses I have given you so that you will not collapse when you walk through seasons you cannot yet explain. Look again at Joseph, but do not focus only on his outcome. Look at how I formed him. I showed him glory before I allowed him to experience it. Because without that vision within him, he would not have endured the days of descent. He passed through layers of betrayal, misjudgment, and confinement in places where he was forgotten. Yet understand this, not a single day in those places was wasted. It was there that I taught him how to discern hearts, how to govern under pressure, how to remain upright when unseen. As it is written, the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. Genesis 39:21. My presence did not leave him in the prison, and it has not left you in what you call your trials. What you are going through is not destruction, it is formation. I am building within you a structure strong enough to carry what is great without collapsing. And now, my child, look again at Moses. You have known him as the deliverer. But before he ever stood before Pharaoh, he was a man who had to confront his own impulsiveness and limitations. I did not rush to use him while he was still driven by emotion. I led him into a place where no one knew him, the wilderness, not to forget him, but to refine him. 40 years in silence was not delay, it was inner reconstruction. There was no applause, no recognition, only me and him. And it was precisely in that unseen place that I taught him to hear my voice clearly. As it is written, God called to him from within the bush, Exodus 3:4. He learned to discern my voice in stillness before he would stand amid the noise of a nation. So it is with you, my beloved. The seasons when you feel withdrawn from the center, the times when everything seems quiet, these are not abandonment. They are the places where I am aligning your mind, your voice, and your responses, so that when you step forward, you are no longer governed by emotion, but by my leading. But I also want you to see another depth, Esther. Not all training unfolds through pain or isolation. There are processes I carry out in quiet refinement, where outwardly everything appears gentle, yet inwardly there is profound adjustment. Esther was not cast into a pit or driven into a desert. She was placed in a hidden environment where even the smallest details were cultivated. I taught her how to carry herself, how to remain composed, how to discern timing, how to be silent when necessary, and speak at the appointed moment. And it was those very things that prepared her for the moment when an entire nation depended upon her decision. As it is written, and who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther 4:14. You, too, are walking through such a phase, a place where I am reshaping what no one else can see, confidence not rooted in circumstances, courage not driven by emotion, integrity that does not bend under pressure. My beloved, bring these together so you may understand your own process clearly. At times, you are like Joseph, passing through trials to build character. At times, you are like Moses, led into silence to develop maturity and authority. And at times, you are like Esther, being prepared in hiddenness for a decisive moment. These are not three separate paths. They are three layers of training that I am weaving together within your life. As it is written, we also glory in tribulations, knowing that tribulation produces perseverance, and perseverance, character, and character, hope. Romans 5:3. Every stage carries purpose, and every purpose leads you toward the maturity I have ordained. Therefore, do not call your process failure. Do not assume that the difficult and unclear seasons mean you have gone astray. On the contrary, these are the very signs that I am investing in you for something of great weight and significance. Stand firm, my child, for when I train, I do not work halfway. When I prepare fully. And when I place you into position, you will not merely enter, you will stand established within it. Because you are no longer who you were yesterday. You have been formed, refined, and aligned by my own hand. And what I am doing within you, no one can replicate. No one can replace, and nothing can obstruct. My beloved, allow your soul to sink even deeper into stillness. For what I am revealing is no longer fragmented pieces, but a complete tapestry being woven within your life. The three processes you have seen of Joseph, of Moses, and of Esther are not separate paths for you to choose between. They are converging within your own journey. And you must understand this clearly so that doubt has no place. You are not off course. You have not strayed. You are moving precisely within the flow I ordained for your soul from the beginning. There are moments when you feel as though you are being slowed down, as if everything around you is advancing while you are being held back. But I tell you this, you are not delayed. You are being set into the right rhythm. As it is written, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Ecclesiastes 3:11. What you perceive as delay, in my sight is precision. For I do not work according to human urgency. I work according to the perfection of timing. And when you grasp this, your heart will stop resisting the process and begin to align with it. There have also been moments when you felt as though you were being pulled backward, times when what you were building seemed to pause, times when you were drawn away from places you once occupied. But hear me clearly. You are not being set back. I am taking you deeper. Just as roots must descend into the soil before a tree can rise in strength, I am leading you into depth so you can sustain the height without breaking. As it is written, He shall be like a tree planted by streams of water. Its leaf also shall not wither. Psalm 1:3. Without depth, there is no endurance. And I am not building you for what is temporary. I am forming you for what carries eternal weight. There have been times when you felt separated from people, from environments, from opportunities you once believed were yours. You may have wondered whether you were being left behind. But hear this with clarity. You have not been forgotten. I am preserving you. As it is written, the Lord shall preserve your soul. Psalm 121:7. I am not holding you back because you are weak, but because I will not allow you to be placed prematurely into something that could damage what I am building within you. That separation is not loss, it is protection. My beloved, I am now inviting you into a higher level of awareness, a different way of seeing everything you are experiencing. You can no longer treat what is happening within you as insignificant. Every challenge you face is not random, it carries a lesson designed specifically for you. Every time you are silent when you wish to speak has purpose. Every moment you are drawn away from the crowd carries intention beyond what is visible. As it is written, the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. Proverbs 18:15. I am teaching you to perceive what lies beneath the surface, so that you no longer react to appearances, but understand with depth. As you begin to understand the process, your fear of time will dissolve. You will no longer be anxious about whether you are moving too fast or too slow, because you will know you are moving rightly. You will no longer fear missing opportunities, because what I have assigned to you cannot be taken away. As it is written, I know that whatever God does, it shall be forever. Nothing can be added to it, and nothing taken from it. Ecclesiastes 3:14. When you hold firmly to this truth, you will walk in a peace the world cannot comprehend. I am also reshaping the way you think. My beloved, I do not only desire to encourage you, I desire to transform you. You no longer think as one who is trying to find the way. You are beginning to think as one who understands my ways. As it is written, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. Isaiah 55:8. And as your thinking is elevated, the way you perceive everything will shift. You will no longer be shaken by outward disturbances, because you will recognize what is being established within you. Therefore, walk more boldly, not because you have gained control over everything, but because you trust the one who is leading you. Stand as one who understands that every season holds value. Every step carries meaning, and nothing in your journey is wasted. As it is written, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God. Romans 8:28. This is not merely a word of comfort, it is a principle of operation. My beloved, I am training you for something of weight, not the kind the world measures, but the kind that belongs to eternity. And when you walk in this understanding, you will no longer fear loss, delay, or missed opportunities. You will stand firm, as one who knows they are held within my hands, and there is no place more secure, more certain, or more right than that. My child, steady your heart in this deep awareness. For what I am opening before you is no longer a series of isolated opportunities. I am unveiling the very role you were created to carry. It is not merely that doors are opening, positions themselves are waiting for you to step into them. And you must understand this, when I open a role, I have already prepared you to stand within it. As it is written, he who calls you is faithful, who also will do it. 1 Thessalonians 5:24. I never place you where I have not equipped you to remain. So when you step into new things, into tasks you have never done, into spaces you have never occupied, do not let unfamiliarity cause you to hesitate. For within you is no longer the person you once were. Happy. You have passed through layers of training that you yourself may not have fully recognized. Yet I have marked every step, the trials you endured, the moments you chose silence over reaction, the times you chose what was right over what was easy. All of these have formed a solid foundation within you. And now, as you step forward, you do not step as one unprepared. You step as one who has been trained. You will begin to notice a distinct shift in how you operate. You will no longer speak as much as before. Yet every word you release will carry weight. As it is written, The tongue of the righteous is choice silver. Proverbs 10:20. You will not need many words to prove anything. Your presence itself will speak. You will also no longer act according to quantity, but according to precision. What you do may become fewer, yet far more accurate, because you are no longer driven by busyness, but led by purpose. In your relationships, you will no longer strive to hold on to everyone. I will teach you to discern who is right, who is aligned for this journey. As it is written, can two walk together unless they are agreed? Amos 3:3. You will choose fewer, but deeper. You will walk not with the crowd, but with those who share the same rhythm, the same direction, and the same heart. Even your direction will change. You will no longer scatter your energy across many paths as before. You will move in fewer directions, but they will be marked by clarity from me, and that focus will produce a strength you have never known. For the one trained in, my hand no longer reacts to circumstances. Such a one operates by purpose. As it is written, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs 16:9. My beloved, remember those I have used before, for within their stories you will find reflections of yourself. Joseph did not realize his appointed time had come until the call from the palace suddenly arrived. In a single moment, from a place of obscurity, he was brought into the highest position. As it is written, Pharaoh sent and called Joseph and set him over all the land of Egypt. Genesis 41-14. Sisera. It did not unfold gradually. It happened when the moment I had appointed was activated. So it was with Moses. He did not know his season had begun until he saw the bush that burned without being consumed. In an instant, what was ordinary became sacred, and a call was released that would alter history. As it is written, God called to him from the midst of the bush. Exodus 3-4. I do not require perfect conditions, I require a moment to reveal my will. And Esther, she did not fully grasp her role until the reminder came through Mordecai. And who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther 4:14. That word awakened her understanding of timing. And from there, she stepped into action with a courage she had never known before. My child, these are not merely accounts of the past, they are patterns. And now, that very pattern is alive within your life. Your moment does not arrive with great noise, but with a light that gradually becomes clear within your soul. It is like the burning bush, it does not consume you, but it draws you. It is like the call from the palace, unexpected, yet precise. It is like the reminder given to Esther, awakening you to realize that you are standing within an appointed moment. And I declare to you, without ambiguity and without hesitation, you are stepping directly into what has been appointed for you. Not something that is about to come, but something already unfolding. Not something distant, but something present, here and now. Therefore, walk with boldness, not because you understand everything, but because you trust the one who has led you here. Stand firm in the role I am opening, for I have not only placed you in it, I am there with you. And as you move within my presence, you will see this. Everything I have spoken will no longer remain as words. It will become a living reality, expressed through your very life. My beloved, stand upright in your spirit like one who has just been called by name in the courts of heaven. For what I am speaking is no longer gentle reassurance. This is a decree, an establishment of the position I am placing upon you. It is not a passing emotion, but a true transfer in the unseen realm, now beginning to manifest in the visible. I am not only drawing you near, I am marking you, placing upon you a sign like an unseen crown that carries real authority. As it is written, you have crowned him with glory and honor. Psalm 8:5. This is not symbolic language. It is a spiritual reality you are stepping into. You must understand this clearly. This is no longer a season for you to learn how to believe as before. Those lessons have already been formed within you through years you did not understand. Through days you walked without seeing. Through nights when you faced yourself in silence. I have used trials to shape you, isolation to deepen you, and fire to refine you. As it is written, you, O God, have tested us, you have refined us as silver is refined. Psalm 66:10. Nothing in your journey has been accidental. Every part has been preparation for this hour, the hour in which I now entrust you with what you once could not carry. Now, I do not only teach you, I entrust you. I place into your hands the authority to operate, not an authority that comes from human strength, nor one built on talent or accumulated experience, but an authority that comes from me, written in heaven, secured in covenant, and released at the appointed time. As it is written, behold, I give you authority over all the power of the enemy. Luke 10:19. This authority is not given for self-exaltation, but for the fulfillment of what I have ordained. Receive this not with your mind alone, but with your spirit. I am placing upon your shoulders a new weight, not a burden that exhausts you, but the weight of anointing, a force within you that causes you to move with a steadiness you have never known before. It does not demand that you strive, it enables you to function naturally, because it flows from the identity I have restored within you. As it is written, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 11:30. What I place upon you does not drain you, it aligns you with who you truly are. You are not entering this reality as a beginner. You are stepping in as one who has been affirmed. I am no longer testing you, I have already chosen you. And you must fix this truth firmly within your heart. When I choose, I do not withdraw. As it is written, the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Romans 11:29. Therefore, do not allow doubt to cause you to shrink back. Do not let old memories convince you that you are unprepared. Your readiness does not rest in your feelings. It rests in my decision. Remember David. When I sent Samuel to anoint him, no one in his household even considered the shepherd boy out in the field. But I do not see as man sees. I look upon what I have placed within. And from the moment the oil was poured, an authority was established, even though outwardly nothing seemed to change immediately. As it is written, the Lord does not see as man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. So it is with you, my beloved. What I am placing upon you may not yet be recognized by others, but in the spiritual realm, it has already been established. And from that establishment, I send you, not for you to strive to create influence, but for you to become a vessel through which influence flows. You will begin to notice that when you enter a place, something shifts, not because you are forcing change, but because the authority you carry brings alignment. As it is written, you are the light of the world. Matthew 5:14. Light does not strive to shine, it shines because of what it is. My beloved, I am establishing you as one who is sent, one who is entrusted, one who is appointed, not to dominate as the world understands, but to steward as I do through wisdom, discernment, love, and obedience. You do not carry this authority to control, but to bring order, release life, and open the way for what I desire to accomplish. Stand firm in this. Do not shrink back when I expand you. Do not question when I place you in spaces you never imagined you would occupy. For wherever I send you, I go with you. As it is written, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Matthew 28:20. My presence is your greatest assurance. And now I declare this with clarity and finality. You are no longer in a season of preparation. You are in a season of operation. You are no longer standing on the outside, observing. You are at the center of what I am doing. You are no longer waiting. You are walking. And every step you take, if you remain in me, will carry the mark of heaven. Walk forward, my child, for I have placed into your hands what belongs to you, and no one can take away what I have given. My beloved, draw nearer in the stillness of your soul. For what I am placing within you is not a word to be heard and forgotten. It is a transfer of eternal significance. I do not speak to you from afar, but as one who lays his hand upon your life, imparting what is yours. Open your heart deeply, for what I give is not a concept, it is the authority to function, established from heaven. First, I establish within you the ability to stand firm, not a rigidity born of human will, but a steadfastness that flows from the foundation I have built within you. What once caused you to waver, what once shook you under pressure, will no longer hold the same power. As it is written, stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth. Ephesians 6:14. You no longer stand by your own strength. You stand upon the truth I have inscribed within you. Along with this, I open within you the capacity to receive a flow of revelation no longer obstructed by natural reasoning. You will come to know what must be known not through striving, but through illumination that comes from me. As it is written, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, and it will be given to him. James 1-5. Yet now, you are not only asking, you are beginning to live within the flow of that giving. Then I place into your hands the authority to open, not so that you force doors by your own strength, but so that you may step into what you once only dared to observe from a distance. Places that once caused you to hesitate will become spaces you enter with conviction. As it is written, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. Revelation 3-8. You no longer knock in uncertainty. You step forward with the understanding that I have already gone before you. And beyond that, I entrust to you the capacity to build, not merely to maintain, but to create. You will ignite what is new, breathe life into what has grown barren, and restore what has long been abandoned. As it is written, they shall rebuild the ancient ruins. Isaiah 61-4. You will not simply exist within environments, you will transform them according to what I have placed within you. I also release within you a current of influence, not one born of personal charisma, but one flowing from my presence within you. When you step into a place, the atmosphere will shift, not because you strive to change it, but because you carry what belongs to heaven. As it is written, the kingdom of God is righteousness and peace and joy in the Holy Spirit. Romans 14:17. You become a vessel through which these realities are expressed. And then, I entrust you with the ability to lead, not through force or control, but through authority that flows from being rightly positioned. You will not need to prove your worth. Your life itself will confirm it. As it is written, shepherd the flock of God, not by compulsion, but willingly, according to God. 1 Peter 5-2. You lead not by human power, but by walking in alignment with me. My beloved, you must understand that this impartation does not only change what you do, it changes who you are. The rhythm of your soul is being recalibrated. You will think differently, no longer confined by former fears. You will respond differently, no longer driven by impulsive emotion. You will see differently, perceiving what others cannot. You will decide differently, guided by my leading rather than external pressure. You will trust differently, no longer shaken by circumstances. You will love differently, deeper, Vida, steadier, and you will move differently, less scattered, but far more precise. My beloved, draw nearer in sacred stillness, for what I am placing upon you is no longer instruction, it is activation. I touch your lips and ignite a flame, not so that you may speak more, but so that every word you release carries the weight of heaven. As it is written, behold, I have put my words in your mouth, Jeremiah 1:9. You will no longer speak as you once did. In this season, your words are not merely sound, they are seeds of reality. When you speak, you do not only describe what is, you sow what will be. When you declare, you do not merely hope, you activate. And when you pray, you no longer stand as one pleading from afar, but as one who executes. For I have placed keys into your hands. Understand this clearly. My child, I do not entrust this authority lightly. I have led you through enough seasons of refinement so that your words no longer flow from emotion, but from alignment with me. I have taught you silence when it was necessary, so that now, when you speak, each word carries substance. As it is written, in the multitude of words, sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise. Proverbs 10:19. That restraint has prepared you for the power of speech in this season. I trust you not because you are flawless, but because you have learned how to remain in my hand. Now, I am bringing you into another level of operation, a reality no longer governed by what you have experienced in the past. Old wounds are no longer your foundation. Old fears are no longer your compass. Old assumptions are no longer your boundaries. This new reality operates according to what I speak, not according to what you once felt. As it is written, the righteous shall live by faith, Romans 1:17. You no longer live by reaction, you live by truth. Within this reality, you will sense a different current. You are no longer dragged forward by exhaustion, but propelled by anointing. You do not strain to move ahead, you are lifted from within. Your steps are no longer scattered, they begin to align with the mission I have assigned to you. As it is written, he will make your path straight, Proverbs 3-6. There is no longer the same confusion or misdirection, for you are walking within a course that has been set in alignment. Remember the account of Elisha when I called him through Elijah. He did not enter his calling through random trial, he followed. He learned. He observed. He remained faithful in what seemed small. And when the time came, the mantle was passed not as a symbol, but as a transfer of authority. And when he struck the waters of the Jordan, they parted not because of his own strength, but because authority had been placed upon him. As it is written, the spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha, 2 Kings 2:15. So it is with you, my beloved. What I am placing upon you is not something you have manufactured. It is imparted, activated, and confirmed. Therefore, do not bow your head toward former seasons as though they define you. Those seasons have completed their purpose. As it is written, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead, Philippians 3:13. You are not called to carry your past, you are called to step out of it. Do not tremble before the doors that are opening before you. If I have opened them, you have no reason to fear. As it is written, what he opens no one can shut, Revelation 3-7. You do not need to re-examine your worthiness. You need to step through in obedience. Do not measure what I am doing by your former abilities. What you see in the mirror is not the fullness of who you are. As it is written, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, Zechariah 4-6. What will move through you does not come from what you have accumulated. It comes from the anointing I am pouring out in this very hour. My beloved, you are not entering this reality as one starting over. You are stepping in as one who has completed a deep process of formation and is now affirmed to function. You are no longer an apprentice, you are entrusted. You are no longer standing outside, you are within. Walk forward with your head lifted, your heart steady, and the awareness that what I have placed within you is real. And as you move, you will see your words will carry life, your actions will produce fruit, and your very life will become evidence that I have acted. For I do not only speak, I fulfill what I speak through you. My beloved, Continue to open your heart like an unlocked door. For what I am doing does not stop at imparting authority. It leads you into the depth of understanding how that authority operates. You have been touched by the fire of my word. But now, I want you to understand that this fire is not meant to flare and fade. It is meant to burn steadily, with direction, with purpose, and to carry life wherever I send you. As it is written, is not my word like fire and like a hammer that breaks the rock in pieces? Jeremiah 23:29. You no longer speak impulsively. You speak from connection to an unending source of fire. And because of this, you must guard your heart in humility. For true power is not found in how much you speak, but in where your words come from, whether from self or from union with me. Remember a story that is often overlooked, yet holds the depth you need for this season. The story of the boy Samuel in the temple. In the stillness of the night, he heard a voice, yet did not recognize it as mine until Eli taught him how to respond. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. 1 Samuel 3:10. Do you see? The power of speech does not begin with speaking, it begins with listening. I am not seeking mouths that are ready to speak. I am seeking hearts that are ready to hear. And when Samuel learned to listen, not one of his words fell to the ground. As it is written, the Lord was with him and let none of his words fall to the ground. 1 Samuel 3:19. So it is with you. My beloved, I am teaching you not only to speak with weight, but to speak from what has been born out of deep listening. Therefore, when I place fire upon your lips, I also place discipline within your heart, the discipline of stillness, of waiting, of not speaking before I have spoken. In this new reality, you will come to understand that not every moment requires words, but every word requires the right moment. As it is written, a word spoken in due season. How good it is. Proverbs 15:23. You are no longer driven by the need to react, you are led to act from understanding. And this will preserve the authority you carry, ensuring that it is not misused, but released in alignment with my purpose. My beloved, as you walk within this level of operation, you will begin to sense a shift, subtle, yet unmistakably clear. You no longer pray as one standing outside a door, but as one already within the room. You no longer speak to me as a stranger, but as one who labors together with me. As it is written, for we are God's fellow workers. 1 Corinthians 3:9. This means you are no longer merely asking me to act, you are moving with me in action. When you pray, you do not only express desire, you participate in shaping what I am establishing upon the earth. And because of this, I call you to guard your heart with purity. For what flows through you will always reflect what is within you. If your heart is unsettled, your words will lose clarity. But if your heart abides in me, your words will carry life. As it is written, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. You are not only protecting what you do, you are protecting the source from which it flows. Now that you have begun to understand what I am doing, let your heart respond to me with a deeper offering, not out of obligation, but out of union. And I invite you into this moment. Now, lift your voice to me, not with striving, but with sincerity that rises from the deepest place within your soul. O Almighty God, the one who has called me out of darkness into living light, today I do not come before you in hesitation, but with the awareness that you have placed within me a portion of heavenly authority. Teach me to steward what you have entrusted, not according to my will, but according to yours, so that every word I speak and every step I take reflects your heart. As it is written, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Matthew 6:10. Loving Father, keep my heart anchored in deep humility, so that when I see power move through me, I will never forget that you are the source. Preserve within me a holy dependence upon you, that I may remain in the place you have ordained, neither above it nor beneath it, but precisely within it. Faithful One, enlarge my vision so that I may clearly perceive what you are doing, that I may not be limited by what my eyes can see, but guided by what my spirit discerns. Let me walk not in confusion, but in the assurance that every step has been prepared by you beforehand. God of all grace, place upon my lips words that carry life, so that when I speak, what is dead is awakened, what is dim is illuminated, and what is disordered is brought into alignment. Let me not speak from emotion, but from the leading of your Spirit. And I also lift up to you my gratitude from the deepest place within my soul. O merciful Father, I thank you that you did not abandon me in the seasons I did not understand, but patiently formed and trained me for this very hour. As it is written, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Philippians 1-6. I believe that this journey is still being completed by your faithful hand. O Eternal One, I thank you that you have counted me worthy to entrust with this authority. I do not take it lightly, but receive it as a sacred privilege. Teach me to live in a way that honors this calling, not by my own strength, but by abiding in you each day. My beloved, rise from this place of prayer, not as one who has merely asked, but as one who has been strengthened. For I have heard, I have answered, and I continue to work within you. From this place, you will walk not only with faith, but with the understanding that I am moving through your very life. Thank you for listening to this message. Know that you are not merely a viewer. My beloved, draw closer, still not with the steps of your body, but with the openness of your soul. For in what seems like an ordinary moment, I am establishing an irreversible movement within your life. Do not regard what you are about to hear as gentle encouragement, for this is a call carrying the authority of divine realignment, a transformation so profound that you will scarcely recognize yourself as you once were. A current is being released from above, not from the earth, not from circumstance, but from my eternal source of life. And this current does not come to end in you, but to flow through you, making you a meeting point between heaven and earth. As it is written, whoever believes in me, rivers of living water will flow from within them. John 7:38. And this is no distant promise. It is becoming a living reality within you now. You once believed you were delayed, that closed doors were signs of failure. But I tell you truthfully, there is no delay in my design, only preparation. When you stood still, I was deepening your foundation. When you felt restrained, I was redirecting your course. And now that the appointed time has ripened, the water from my throne will not trickle like a quiet stream, but will surge like a flood of life, sweeping away old assumptions and shattering the frameworks that once confined you. As revealed in the ancient vision, where the river flows, everything will live. Ezekiel 47:9. And you must understand that when my current touches your life, not only are you renewed, but everything around you will no longer remain the same. Listen carefully, for what I am speaking is not for a doubtful mind, but for a trusting heart. You are entering a season in which what once seemed immovable will begin to shift in ways you could not have predicted. Relationships, opportunities, and doors that appeared permanently shut will open not because you discovered the key, but because I commanded them to open. Do not attempt to control this flow, for it does not belong to you, it belongs to me. Your part is not to direct it, but to align with it, not to worry, but to trust. As it is written, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5. For when you release control, you will witness true power at work. Do you remember the woman at the well? She came under the heat of the day carrying weariness and unresolved stories within her heart. When she encountered me, I did not give her the water she was accustomed to. I spoke of another source, one that would never run dry. Whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst. John 4:14. The miracle was not only that she was filled within, but that after that encounter, she became a messenger, running back to her town and stirring an entire community. Do you see? When living water touches one life, it does not stop at personal healing. It generates influence. That is what I am doing with you, not merely filling you, but transforming you into a river. Do not fear change, for what is coming is not meant to diminish you, but to align you with what I ordained from the beginning. You are no longer called to dwell within old limitations, outdated thinking, or fears that once restrained you. When my water flows, it will expose what must be cleansed and revive what was long buried. As it is written, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. Ezekiel 36:26. And this renewal is not external. It begins in the deepest places within. And my child, understand this clearly. The turning you are about to experience is not accidental. It is the fruit of the faithfulness you maintained, even in days when you saw no visible results. I have seen every tear, every whispered prayer, every moment you chose to stand firm when everything tried to pull you down. Nothing has been forgotten before me. And now, all of it is converging to create a decisive shift. As it is written, in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. Romans 8:28. And you will begin to see how the scattered fragments of your past are being woven into a complete and purposeful design. Rise within this new awareness. For you are no longer one who stands at the edge of the current. You are part of it. When you walk, you carry life. When you speak, you release clarity. When you enter a space, the atmosphere shifts around you, not because you possess strength in yourself, but because my living water is flowing through you, and that water cannot be restrained, cannot be slowed, cannot be extinguished. Therefore, do not turn back to what is behind you. Do not confine yourself within the boundaries of former memories. Walk as one who has been touched by the wellspring of eternal life. As it is written, forgetting what lies behind and straining toward what lies ahead. Philippians 3:13. Your future is no longer defined by your past, but by the current that is moving within you now. Now quiet your heart and receive this. I am not merely renewing you, I am positioning you as a source of influence, not through noise, but through presence. Womanly, not through self-effort, but through the natural overflow of what I have placed inside you. From that place, you will see that your life is no longer a journey of searching, but a journey of outpouring. My beloved, let your mind become still like the surface of a morning lake, that I may place within it understanding beyond what eyes can see or ears can hear. What I am doing in your life is not a common shift like the changing of earthly seasons. It is a realignment of trajectory, a deep repositioning of the soul. When I speak of a turning, I do not mean a minor improvement. I mean that I am resetting your entire direction according to the eternal design written before you were formed in your mother's womb. As it is written, my ways are higher than your ways. Isaiah 55:9. So do not measure my work by past experience, for I am operating on a level beyond what you have known. The forces that once unsettled you, the opposing currents that left you swimming in weariness, are now being withdrawn like the tide at sunrise. You once believed you were weak because you could not overcome those pressures. Yet the truth is that I permitted them until the appointed time of my intervention. And now, I am intervening. What pulled you off course will no longer have authority. The voices that once stirred doubt within you will gradually fall silent. For I am placing a new alignment upon your life. As it is written, the Lord will go before you. The God of Israel will be your rear guard. Isaiah 52:12. You will no longer be dragged backward by your past, nor driven by circumstance. Look back at the doors that once stood closed before you. You question what you lacked, striving to refine yourself as though somewhere there existed a key you had yet to discover. But I tell you truthfully, they did not open because the season had not yet come. It was not that you were insufficient, it was that the timing was not aligned. I held those doors shut to protect you from stepping in before you were ready. And now, as the current from my throne begins to intensify, you will witness something extraordinary. Those very doors will open not through your effort, but through your presence. As it is written, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. Revelation 3:8. And this will become a living reality in your life. This transformation does not arise from tightening your resolve or increasing your exertion. It flows from a deeper source, a river of living water propelling you beyond natural striving into a supernatural rhythm. You will notice a new lightness in your decisions, greater clarity in your discernment, steadiness in the midst of turbulence that logic cannot explain. This is not because you have grown stronger in the world's understanding of strength, but because I am carrying what once weighed you down. As it is written, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Matthew 11:30. And you will recognize that ease as evidence that I am personally directing your steps. Do you remember Peter when he stepped out of the boat onto the stormy sea? As long as his eyes were fixed on me, he walked upon the water, an act that defied every natural law. But when his gaze shifted to the wind and waves, he began to sink. What I am doing with you is similar. I am not altering the nature of the waters. I am repositioning you within relationship with me. When your eyes remain on me, the forces that once intimidated you will no longer govern you. You will walk upon what once caused you to hesitate, not because the waters have hardened beneath your feet, but because I am holding you. And when I decree that a river shall flow through your life, no barrier erected by human hands can restrain it. Understand that this turning is not merely to free you from hardship, it is to seat you in the place appointed for you. I am drawing you out of the realm of self-reliant striving where you had to manage, prove, and sustain yourself, and into the realm of grace, where you operate from connection rather than compulsion. There, success is no longer the product of isolated effort, but the fruit of abiding partnership with me. As it is written, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, Zechariah 4:6. And you will see this truth manifested in every step of your transition. Do not be surprised if you sense a fresh strength rising within you, a calmness amid critical decisions, a clarity at complex crossroads. These are signs that I am lifting you into a higher level of awareness. You will no longer struggle to be seen, nor strain to gain recognition. For when my hand rests upon your life, my presence itself is your validation. What once exhausted, you will gradually lose its grip, just as darkness retreats when light appears. And my child, when this turning has fully unfolded, you will look back and realize that you did not elevate yourself, I did. You will recognize this as the work of heaven, for no force can obstruct what I have ordained. Just as a river wears down solid rock over time, the waters I release will carve their way through every barrier. When I decree that a current shall flow, it will flow. When I determine that you shall advance, none can restrain you. Therefore, rest in confidence and walk forward. For you are no longer struggling against the stream. You are being carried by my own power. Beloved, listen with your whole soul. For what I now reveal is not merely for your understanding, but for your participation. The life I impart does not end with quenching your inner thirst. It is destined to pour out from you like a spring in the wilderness. You were not born merely to exist quietly among the crowds, but to carry a different rhythm, a cadence that descends from above. As it is written, "Let your light shine before others." Matthew 5:16. You do not generate that light by striving, but by the life I have placed within you. True influence does not rise from ladders of prestige or echoes of reputation. It flows from the quiet yet powerful vitality within a heart I have touched. Do you remember Ezekiel standing in the valley of dry bones? When I commanded him to prophesy, he spoke only what I declared, and the wind from the four corners breathed life into what had long been desolate. He held no rank among armies, yet he carried my word, and that word awakened what seemed beyond hope. In the same way, when I allow living water to move through you, your words may be gentle, yet they will awaken. Your steps ordinary, yet they will open pathways. Your presence silent, yet it will shape the atmosphere. You are not the architect of this. I planted it within you as a seed appointed from the beginning. As it is written, that person is like a tree planted by streams of water. Psalm 1:3. Such a tree does not strive for display, yet it bears fruit in season, and its leaves do not wither. For its nourishment is not external, but rooted where the water runs deep. I do not lift you so that you may stand out among many. I raise you so that you may become a conduit of life in places of drought. Others will discover peace near you, not because you speak excessively, but because the peace I have placed in you diffuses like fragrance. You will witness hearts restored not by clever strategies of your own, but by the light I shine through you. And as it is written, rivers of living water will flow from within them. John 7:38. You will understand that you are no longer a reservoir, but a river. The breakthrough I appoint for you is not noisy expansion outwardly, but inward movement as you transition from merely receiving to overflowing. Engrave this deeply within. When my water operates, it does more than elevate your position. It reshapes how you perceive and how you walk. You will sense a courage unfamiliar to you, not rooted in achievement, but grounded in the assurance that I am with you. As it is written, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1. What once intimidated you will no longer grip your thoughts. Discernment will become sharp like a finely honed blade. Crossroads that once caused hesitation will grow luminous and clear. You will handle complexity with surprising ease, as though an unseen hand has lifted the burden from your shoulders. You once carried burdens that were never assigned to you, striving to prove your worth and to safeguard promises I myself had spoken. Yet I tell you now, this is no longer a season of strain. It is a season where grace moves on your behalf. As it is written, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit. Zechariah 4:6. And when my Spirit is at work, your steps will no longer feel heavy. What once exhausted you will become light as the morning breeze. What once confused you will be aligned like a straightened path. This is the sign that you are no longer walking by your own strength, but by the current I have placed within you. Let me remind you of a story seldom emphasized. In the days of Elisha, a widow possessed nothing but a small jar of oil. When she obeyed the instruction given to her, the oil did not cease until every empty vessel had been filled. That oil did not multiply by her skill, but by her obedience and the supply that came from me. So it is with you when you become a vessel open to my flow. The stream will not diminish until my purpose is fulfilled. Your influence will not depend on what you possess, but on the source from which you draw. In this season, you are not merely refreshed, you are transformed at the root. Your perspective toward others will soften. Your responses will grow wiser, and your steps will become steadier. A new confidence will arise, not from praise, but from the awareness that I am at work within you. You will cease seeking validation from outside voices, for your affirmation has already been inscribed in heaven before you entered this appointed time. Therefore, stand firm in the solemnity of this hour. The breakthrough I have ordained for you is recorded in the books of heaven, and my current is activating it day by day. Do not seek loud signs to confirm it. Instead, perceive the deep shift within your spirit. You are no longer waiting at the riverbank. You are the place where living water emerges. And once I have decreed that this water shall flow through your life, none can halt it. Walk in that awareness, not with pride, but with settled conviction, for I am doing this with the authority of the one who appoints seasons. And your season has arrived. Beloved, before you fix your gaze upon horizons or search for outward signs, turn inward to the hidden place within you, for I always begin there. The life I release does not first navigate through external circumstances. It springs from the depths of the soul and then spreads into every other sphere. When I breathe upon your heart, the first thing I touch is not your environment, but the hardened layers formed over years. You have carried silent fractures from disappointment, dry spaces born of prolonged waiting, conclusions etched upon your heart because you believed you were not enough. Yet, I am the one who makes a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Isaiah 43:19. And the very places you deemed barren are the ones I most desire to flood with abundance. Remember the ancient vision when the prophet stood amid a valley of dry bones. No natural life could arise there. Yet when I spoke and my breath entered, bones joined together, flesh formed, and life stood upright. That was not merely history, it reveals how I work within you today. Your inner world may once have resembled that valley, silent, fractured, and seemingly without hope. But when I release living water, I do not overwhelm you with a sudden torrent. I water gently yet persistently, until every dry root begins to drink. As it is written, I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. Ezekiel 36:25. This cleansing begins in the hidden places where no eye sees but mine. You will begin to sense a softening within you, not the fragile softness of fleeting emotion, but the steady calm of a deep-rooted peace. It is a peace that enables you to discern what flows from me and what is merely the noise of the world. Knots that once tightened around your thoughts will loosen as cords gently untied from your wrists. Shadows that once lingered over your emotions will dissolve like mist before the rising sun. Heavy stones that pressed upon your spirit will drift away as sediment carried off by swelling waters. You will not need to force yourself into change. The life I have placed within you will align you to a new rhythm naturally. As it is written, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1. When I lead you, you do not struggle to find the path. Remember Naaman, the commander clothed in authority yet afflicted with leprosy. He anticipated a dramatic display, yet I instructed him simply to immerse himself in the Jordan 7 times. When he humbled himself and entered the waters in obedience, his flesh was restored like that of a child. The miracle did not occur in a palace, but in the river. Likewise, your restoration does not begin with applause from without, but with quiet surrender within. When you allow living water to reach your deepest layers, I renew you in ways unseen at first, yet unmistakable in their effect. Understand this: when your inner life is watered, it is the first sign that the season of turning has begun. When flexibility returns within, circumstances will adjust without. When your heart grows tender, your decisions become clearer. When your soul feels lighter, your steps grow firmer. I do not require you to force open doors. I desire to soften the soil of your heart. For when the ground is moist, the seeds I have sown will sprout in due time. As it is written, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled." Matthew 5:6. That fulfillment begins with the thirst within. You will discover that you no longer strain to break old habits. New life quietly replaces the old as light overtakes darkness. You will cease manufacturing peace, for peace will flow freely through you. You will no longer argue for your own worth, for I inscribed that worth within you long ago. When living water moves, it lifts you to a higher vibration, not with loud fanfare, but with steady assurance. Therefore, do not rush to search for outward signs. Listen instead for the new cadence within your spirit. If you sense softness where once there was rigidity, clarity where once there was confusion, lightness where once there was burden, that is your evidence that the season has changed. I perform this work with the authority of the one who appoints times and seasons. And when the interior has been renewed, the exterior will follow, like a field turning green after rain has soaked deep into the earth. Believe this: the turning does not begin with an open door, but with a watered heart, and I have already begun to water. Beloved, when I have softened your heart and planted my living current in your depths, do not imagine that my work concludes there. Lift your eyes now to the second sphere. I am touching the ground around you, the space you occupy, the people you encounter each day. The water I release is not a closed well meant solely for your refreshment. It is a river inclined to reshape the landscape. When a river changes course, it does not seek permission from its banks. It quietly yet resolutely compels its surroundings to adjust. So it is, when I allow my life to flow through you, your environment cannot remain unchanged. You will begin to notice that certain connections which once clung tightly yet bore no lasting fruit will loosen, much like withered leaves, releasing themselves when a new season arrives. This will not occur because you have grown harsh, nor because you have intentionally severed ties, but because new life cannot coexist with prolonged barrenness. As it is written, every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Matthew 7:19. Yet I am not speaking of destruction, but of purification. What does not align with your new direction will gradually fall away from your orbit, and you need not carry guilt for it. My current carries within it a refining quality. It preserves what accords with purpose and washes away what no longer belongs. At the same time, you will see new individuals drawn into your path, not through forced arrangements or strained networking, but through a spiritual resonance. The life within you will become like a fragrance that attracts kindred hearts. As it is written, walk with the wise and become wise. Proverbs 13:20. I will bring alongside you those who share the rhythm of what I am unfolding. They will not arrive merely to fill voids, but to walk with you in the sphere of influence I am expanding. You will not need to compete for position or chase affirmation. Your presence, carrying the living water I have placed within you, will naturally create fitting space. Remember when Israel bore the Ark of the Covenant across the Jordan while its waters overflowed? When the priest's feet touched the river's edge, the current halted and a path emerged. It was not that the river weakened, but that my presence went before them. In the same way, as you step forward in this season, your surroundings will respond to my presence dwelling in you. Doors once heavy will open as though newly anointed with oil. Places once tangled in confusion will quietly realign, as if an unseen hand were clearing the way. As it is written, prepare the way of the Lord. Isaiah 40:3. I am accomplishing this through your life. You may be astonished to find that you are not striving to change your environment. Rather, the environment adjusts around you. Conversations will deepen. Opportunities will surface at appointed times. Spaces once charged with tension will soften when you enter. This is not because you have become extraordinary by earthly standards, but because I am using you as a meeting point between heaven and earth. Just as when David brought the ark into the house of Obed-Edom and blessing rested upon that household, simply because my presence was there, so too will you observe subtle yet undeniable shifts wherever you set your feet. Understand clearly, this is neither coincidence nor fortunate sequence. It is strategy. I am restructuring your surroundings to correspond with the influence I ordained for you before time unfolded. I do not lead you into new territory without first preparing the ground. When I alter the climate around you, it signals that I am enlarging your spiritual territory, as it is promised. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread upon I have given to you. Joshua 1:3. You do not step into emptiness, you step into what has already been assigned. Do not fear when you see certain things depart. Do not be unsettled when familiar structures shift. When the current strengthens, the old banks must adjust. This is not loss, it is reformation. I am guiding you into a broader field of influence where life does not merely survive but multiplies. And when your environment begins to transform in response to your steps, know that I am walking ahead of you, preparing each patch of ground so that you may move without stumbling. Therefore, stand steady. If you observe change in relationships, in opportunities, in workplace or family settings, do not rush to conclusions. Instead, ask, Father, what are you accomplishing here? For when the environment moves, it is evidence that the current has intensified. And when my current flows, it does not simply refresh your heart, it redefines the landscape around you. You are no longer merely one who adapts to your surroundings. You are becoming one who carries a presence that causes surroundings to adjust. I do this not to inflate your pride, but to usher you into the sphere of influence I inscribed upon your life. When you notice the soil shifting in tone and the atmosphere altering around you, recognize that I am clearing the path ahead. Walk forward in that assurance, for I am recalibrating everything around you to align with the river I have set in motion through your life. Beloved, when I have softened your inner being and reshaped the environment surrounding you, the current of life does not halt there. It advances into a deeper dimension, the awakening of your mission. This is where you will most distinctly perceive my hand resting upon you. Throughout history, there have been moments when I selected an individual, not because they met earthly expectations, but because they had been touched by living water from above. I nourished them, then positioned them in their appointed hour. And in that hour they accomplished what no one else could fulfill. You are stepping into such a time, as it is written, before I formed you in the womb I knew you, before you were born I set you apart. Jeremiah 1:5. Your mission is not a recent idea, it is an ancient decree, now being activated. When living water animates your mission, you will not only feel strengthened, you will feel propelled. Recall Gideon, hiding in fear, seeing himself as the least among his people. Yet when I addressed him as mighty warrior, it was not flattery, but revelation of identity. From weakness he became an instrument of generational shift. Likewise, when I infuse your calling with my current, ideas will surface with clarity. Strategy will dawn like morning light, and pathways will appear beneath your steps as though the ground itself were unfolding. You will cease wandering in search of direction. You will move and see direction manifest. As it is written, the Lord will guide you continually. Isaiah 58:11. And that guidance will no longer be abstract, but tangible motion. Your mission will no longer be a riddle to solve. It will become a pulse within you that cannot be ignored. You will sense my hand upon your shoulder, not burdensome, but unmistakable, reminding you that you cannot return to former low places. When I elevate someone into purpose, I do not lift them through ambition, I position them through calling. You are called to open channels, to transmit life, to create breakthrough where I send you. And listen carefully. What you accomplish in this season will not merely touch the present, it will echo into generations. As it is written, whoever sows to please the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life. Galatians 6:8. What you plant now will multiply beyond your sight. Do not consider this strange within my ways. I have caused water to spring from rock in desert lands to show that life is not constrained by circumstance. I have parted seas to create passage where none seemed possible. I placed Esther within a royal palace, an unassuming young woman amid towering authority, yet the life I entrusted to her preserved an entire nation. Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther 4:14. Do you see? These witnesses were not elevated because they were flawless. They were elevated because they remained where living water touched them and did not turn away. So it is with you. What I am accomplishing now is not novel to heaven, it is simply new to your experience. Through generations I have worked by watering one life and then releasing that life into its appointed hour. When I choose, Yekip, when I call, I prepare the way. As I said to Moses, I will be with you, Exodus 3:12. So I say to you now, you do not pursue your mission alone, you walk with me. You may sense acceleration stirring within ideas flowing, vision expanding, discernment sharpening. Do not fear this momentum. It signals that the current is aligning you with your destined trajectory. Your mission is no longer a distant hope. It is a movement that cannot be restrained. You are no longer living in anticipation of your time. You are living within it. And as you move, you will witness impact radiating outward like ripples across water, reaching people you have yet to meet and generations you may never see, yet forever touching because you stepped into the flow appointed for you. Therefore, stand firm in this calling. Do not look back at former weakness and conclude that you are insufficient. I have taken those who trembled and used them to shake empires. I have chosen those who considered themselves small, and through them altered the destiny of nations. You are not stranded in an old current. You are entering the same stream through which I have raised those who shifted the course of history. And when I determine that this river shall pass through your life, no opposing force can restrain it. Advance in this assurance. Your mission is not merely an occupation. It is living water flowing through you. What I am shaping within you today will echo far beyond the present moment. For when I initiate a current, I do not design it for the now alone. I see toward eternity. Beloved, pause and stand in holy reverence of this hour. For I am no longer speaking at the level of encouragement. I am speaking at the level of commissioning, of entrustment, of the laying on of hands to establish a new way of living in you. From this moment forward, you are not only one who has been renewed, you are one who carries renewal. You are not only soil that has been watered, you are a spring that has been opened. As it is written, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, 1 Peter 2:9. I am calling you into that identity not for display, but for reflection of my glory. I am exchanging the old atmosphere around you for another. Your physical eyes may not yet perceive it, but your spirit has already sensed the shift. This is a spiritual transition of seasons, like a forest crossing the threshold between winter and spring. There is no trumpet blast, yet beneath the surface, sap begins to rise. What once appeared lifeless quietly awakens. Dormant buds push upward toward light. I tell you plainly, your life stands at that very boundary, the edge of unfolding. As it is written, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19. You are not merely stepping into a new season. You are anointed to become its sign. You no longer live as one learning to swim within a current. You live as one who belongs to the river itself. You do not wait for a signal to begin. You are the signal. You do not seek favorable environments. You become an environment where life is permitted to flourish. Just as wherever the Ark of the Covenant rested, blessing followed, so too will you see atmospheres shift with your arrival, not because of personal magnitude, but because I walk with you. As it is written, the Lord is with you like a mighty warrior, Jeremiah 20:11. And that presence forms the foundation of every new movement in your life. Consider the dawn. It does not shatter the night with noise. It gradually spreads light until darkness has no place left to stand. In the same way, your breakthrough in influence will not arrive through spectacle or self-display, but through an increasing illumination within your soul. You will speak less, yet others will listen more deeply. You will remain steady, yet movement around you will intensify. You will not strive to attract, yet the life within you will draw hearts naturally. This is the mark of one operating in living water, not through personal effort, but through the overflow of what I have implanted. Recall when Samuel anointed David among his brothers. No one in the household perceived the shepherd boy as chosen. Yet when the oil was poured, my spirit came upon him from that day forward. From an overlooked youth emerged a new chapter for an entire nation. So it is with you. I am placing upon you a mark unseen by human eyes, yet evident through outcome. You will not return to former low positions. For when I lay my hand upon someone, I do not withdraw it lightly. Understand this deeply. Within this new current, you no longer live by striving to validate your worth. You live by the awareness that I have already affirmed you, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit. Zechariah 4:6. Your operation from this point forward will carry a natural, supernatural quality, a paradox understood only by those who walk closely with me. You will discover that you no longer struggle to maintain influence. Influence will diffuse like fragrance when a flower blooms. I am positioning you at the threshold of awakening. Do not be afraid if you sense that you are no longer the same. Do not be unsettled if what once fit you now feels too small. The season has changed, and you are among the first trees to blossom in the forest. I am renewing. Others will look upon your life and perceive that transformation has begun, not because you proclaim it, but because they witness life at work within you. Walk, therefore, in reverence and humility. Do not be loud, yet do not retreat. You have no need to assert yourself. The light within you will speak for itself. You need not search for position. Position will find you. And when you feel the current intensifying in your decisions, in your words, in your very presence, understand that I have commissioned you for this new manner of living. You are no longer merely one who has been watered. You are one who carries the season. You are no longer waiting for change. You are the evidence of change. When I have raised my voice and laid my hand upon you, this new operation will continue to grow like the rising sun until noon stands high and every shadow withdraws. Walk in that certainty, for I am completing what I began in you. Beloved, when I say you are moving within living water, it means you no longer tread upon the old ground. I have altered the foundation beneath your feet. Imagine a field once cracked by drought. Its layers harden from relentless heat. Then the first rain of the season descends, and the soil does not merely moisten at the surface, but begins to soften from within, becoming receptive to seed. So it is with your soul now. I have softened what was rigid and made pliable what once strained under pressure. You are no longer advancing upon the harsh terrain of the former season, where every step demanded force, but upon soil that carries elasticity, prepared to support one who is called. As it is written, that person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season. Psalm 1:3. When the soil has been watered, fruitfulness ceases to be a struggle and becomes a natural outcome. In this season, your choices will carry greater precision because they arise not from dryness but from abundance. Direction will open before you like a path forming beneath steady footsteps. You will sense forward movement, not by pressure, but by an unseen lift. This is the nature of soil that has absorbed rain. It produces more readily. What you sow now will grow faster, stronger, and wider, because the interior environment has been renewed by my current. Yet I do not end with the image of soil. I commission you also as the wind of transition. No one sees the wind itself, yet all perceive when the air has shifted. Leaves tremble, fragrance change, the sky bears a new tone. Likewise, others may not fully comprehend what I am shaping within you, but they will feel the shift. As it is written, the wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it is going. John 3:8. You will move with that same directed freedom. You will not push, yet you will move hearts. You will not contend for place, yet you will be positioned. You will not need noise, yet your presence will carry weight. The former season may have brought misunderstanding, judgments based on surface impressions. Yet in this season, you will be recognized for depth. Light will be sensed in you before words are spoken. As Elijah discerned my presence not in the storm, but in the gentle whisper, so you will understand that power does not always arrive with thunder, but through quiet, decisive movement. The wind does not ask permission to blow, it follows the course I determine. So too will you, free, yet guided, gentle yet authoritative, silent yet bearing the gravity of heaven. And I give you a third image, a flame rekindled in the night, not a blaze that flares brightly for a moment and then dies, but a steady, enduring fire, the kind that holds its light even when winds rise and darkness thickens. You may think water and fire cannot dwell together. Yet in me the living water does not extinguish the flame, it sustains it so that it never lacks fuel. As when the bush burned, yet was not consumed, I reveal to you a different kind of fire, the fire of my presence. That flame does not depend upon your passing emotions. Even on days when you feel weak, the fire I have placed within you will not go out. As it is written, fan into flame the gift of God which is in you, 2 Timothy 1:6. I did not ignite that fire, so it would fade into ash. The water I pour nourishes the roots, and the roots sustain the flame. You will come to see that even when you do not perceive yourself as strong, the light remains ready to rise at the appointed moment. That fire will illuminate precisely the ground to which I send you and warm the very souls I position along your path. You will become a refuge for the weary, like a traveler in the night who finds a lamp and knows he is no longer lost. To move within living water means you tread upon softened ground. Breathe in new wind, and carry within you a fire that does not fail. The soil upholds you. The wind directs you. The flame reveals your way. These do not originate from your own strength, but from my commissioning. You need not labor to preserve influence. You must only guard connection. When I soften the ground, redirect the wind, and sustain the fire within you, every step you take will carry life. Remember this well. You no longer walk upon the pavement of compulsion. You walk upon the foundation of grace. You no longer wait for favorable seasons. You carry the season within you. And when I have placed new ground beneath your feet, new wind around you, and enduring fire inside you, no force can return you to what is past. Walk in that awareness, gentle yet certain, for I uphold the foundation, guide the direction, and sustain the light for every step of your unfolding journey. Beloved, this is no longer a time of preparation. This is the hour in which I lay my hand and establish you in active movement. I do not speak of living water as metaphor alone. I formally entrust you with the authority to walk within it, authority to stand in any circumstance without losing direction, authority to operate by life rather than by strain, authority that your words, spoken in alignment with me, become streams, watering barren places. As it is written, the mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life. Proverbs 10:11. I am shaping your speech with that quality, not through volume, but through depth of flow. I grant you authority to open passage where obstacles once prevailed, authority to shift atmospheres when you enter, authority to transform stagnation into movement, not by force, but by presence. As when I spoke over the waters and the sea parted, so too will certain barriers before you adjust when you advance. You no longer live as one learning to survive in a current. You carry the nature of the river itself. You do not wait for the wind to change direction. You bear its course upon your shoulders. You do not guard a trembling spark. You carry an unquenchable fire within your spirit. As it is written, you are the light of the world, Matthew 5:14. And that light does not compete to shine, it simply exists. And in existing, it transforms the night. I speak this to you with the solemn authority of the one who grants commission. From this moment forward, you walk in entrusted purpose. No more retreating because of doubt. No more standing aside because of fear. No more postponing while waiting for another sign. This is the true beginning, the genuine activation, the decisive turning. As when I called Isaiah, and he answered, here am I, send me, Isaiah 6:8. You now stand at that very threshold. And when I send, I also accompany. I will be with you, Exodus 3:12 is not merely an ancient assurance, it is your present guarantee. From this day, your presence will carry quiet healing without the need for many words. You will notice that some are strengthened simply by proximity to you. Certain spaces will become clearer because you enter them. This does not arise from personal talent, but from the current I have placed within you. As it is written, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, Zechariah 4:6. Your operation will reflect that pattern, subtle yet powerful, gentle yet effective. I seal this word upon you as a signet. You are no longer in preparation, you are in execution. You are no longer studying the river, you are flowing within it. You are no longer observing the new season, you carry the new season. When you walk, others will perceive a shift, even if they cannot name it. They will see steadiness, untouched by agitation, light unshadowed, peace unshaken. And this will be the evidence that I have fulfilled what I declared. Go as one who knows he is sent. Stand as one who knows he is upheld. Shine as one who knows he is ignited by an eternal flame. I have placed the current in your heart, set the wind of the season upon your shoulders, and kindled enduring fire within your spirit. You have been commissioned, authorized, and launched into the trajectory I inscribed for you in heaven's record. When the world discerns the new season through your steps, they will not merely see you, they will witness me at work. Go, my chosen one, for I have completed what I began in you. And now is the hour for you to move in full commission. Beloved, before you depart from this declaration and return to daily rhythms, I place upon your soul a final seal, a seal of steadiness, of unshakable foundation, of affirmation descending from heaven rather than arising from fleeting emotion. You do not carry away a string of words to ponder and forget. You carry a current already activated, a transition already initiated, a new cadence implanted within. As it is written, I have put my words in your mouth, Jeremiah 1:9. What I have spoken is not external to you. It has touched the deepest core of your being. From the moment you listened and received, something within you shifted. Your breath no longer carries the same tension as before. Your vision is no longer confined within former boundaries. Do not mistake this for mere emotion. You are being repositioned. Do not dismiss this as simple encouragement. It is the transfer of authority. Do not wait for another external signal. The signal has already been released from heaven and has reached your soul. As it is written, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. Isaiah 40:31. That renewed strength is not loud, but it is steadfast. You will move forward and discover that what I have spoken is not a distant prophecy. It is a reality unfolding beneath your feet. Life will spring up in territories once barren. Relationships once chilled will warm. Opportunities once dim will grow clear. Crossroads that once confused you will become illuminated. You will understand that you did not suddenly become extraordinary. I have elevated the ground upon which you stand. As it is written, He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He causes me to stand on the heights. Psalm 18:33. You no longer stand on former terrain. Though you may not yet perceive the entire panorama, movement has begun. You will witness turning in places long considered hopeless. Regions once sealed will open. Areas where you believed you had no voice will become spaces where you are heard. Not because you acquired skill overnight, but because I have shifted your foundation. You are no longer rooted in old soil of self-doubt. You stand upon the threshold of a season shaped by living water. Remember Joshua, as he prepared to lead the people across the Jordan. I did not instruct him to wait for another sign. I commanded him to be strong and courageous, for I was with him. When the priest's feet touched the water, the river was compelled to halt. In the same way, when you step according to what I have spoken, what once obstructed you will be required to adjust. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Joshua 1-9. This is the word I place upon you today. You will discover that the affirmation I grant does not depend upon universal agreement. When I seal, none can erase. When I open, none can shut. As it is written, what he opens no one can shut. Revelation 3-7. Your new operation does not rely on external conditions. It rests upon the positioning I have accomplished within your soul. Therefore, depart from this declaration, not as one who has merely heard a message, but as one who has received a commission. Walk in steadiness, unhurried yet assured. View every circumstance with renewed sight, for the level upon which you stand has changed. And when you witness life springing up in places once barren, turning where there was stalemate, breakthrough where there was silence, you will know that I have fulfilled what I promised. You do not carry away the memory of a conversation. You carry an irreversible current. You are not waiting for a new season. You are standing within it. And I speak once more with gentle certainty. You are affirmed. You are positioned. You are established upon new ground. Go in that peace, for I am with you. And what I have begun in you, I will bring to completion. Beloved, engrave this deeply within your spirit. You do not walk alone upon the path I have opened. The living water I have placed in you is not merely refreshment. It is a quiet yet powerful propulsion. The wind of the new season I breathe around you is not simply the sensation of change, it is the breath that lifts your steps. And the flame I have kindled within you is not only for warmth, it is guidance through territories yet untraveled. As it is written, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. Deuteronomy 31:8. You advance, not in isolation, but in sacred companionship. You need only step. You do not need to comprehend every layer of movement behind the scenes. When your foot descends, the heavens align according to the order I have set. You need only open your heart. You do not need to force the current. Water finds its course. You need only believe. You do not need to manufacture the turning. It unfolds in appointed rhythm. As it is written, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Proverbs 3:5. For in trusting you, position yourself in covenant rather than in striving. Go, then, with a peace that is not fragile but firm as bedrock. Maintain humility that is not weakness but depth. like roots beside the river. Carry confidence that rests not on achievement but on the covenant I have established with you. As it is written, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. This promise is not mere comfort, it is the foundation of your forward movement. What approaches you is not designed to test your worth, but to reveal the worth I have already embedded within you. New circumstances are not meant to expose weakness, but to unveil the depth I have quietly constructed in you. As when Joseph rose from prison to leadership, it was not a random reward, but the unveiling of preparation shaped over years. So it will be in your life. What comes next is the opportunity for what I have formed in secret to be displayed openly. You are a sign of the new season, not because you declare it, but because the life I have placed within you cannot be concealed. You are evidence of living water. For wherever you walk, life will leave its imprint. You are chosen not to stand above others, but to open the way for those who follow. As it is written, lift up your heads, O you gates, Psalm 24:7. When you enter new spaces, the doors will open because I go before you. Remember that covenant is the quiet strength that steadies you amid change. I am not merely beside you, I go ahead of you, surround you, and uphold you. You do not need to strain to prove anything. You need only walk in the assurance that your season has truly opened. Just as dawn does not ask the night for permission to rise, you do not need the approval of circumstances. The season has arrived because I have appointed it. Therefore, move forward. Walk with resilient peace. Walk with a humble heart. Walk with unwavering faith and covenant. I am with you, and I have gone before you. Your season has opened, and as you go, those who come after you will see the footprints of life where you have walked. Beloved, do not allow the shadow of the former season to draw your gaze downward any longer. Do not bow your head as one still carrying memories of past limitations. Those days have completed their assignment. They shaped you not to keep you low, but to prepare you to stand higher. So lift your head not in pride, but in the awareness that a new calling stands before you. As it is written, lift up your heads, because your redemption draws near. Luke 21:28. You are no longer positioned as one merely tested. You stand as one sent. Do not tremble before the door I have opened. That door was not opened by your effort, nor does it depend upon human approval. It was opened by my decision. And when I open, no one can shut. As it is written, I have set before you an open door. Revelation 3:8. You are not stepping into uncertainty, but into what has been prepared. Fear no longer has the final word. The door is not a question, it is the answer. Do not measure yourself by former abilities or evaluate your worth by past standards. What you once carried was sufficient for the previous phase. Now I have poured fresh anointing upon you, not so that you begin again, but so that you operate from another level. When David was anointed among his brothers, the shepherd boy did not return to the fields as he had been before, though he still tended sheep. He carried new awareness and invisible authority. In the same way, you may move within familiar surroundings, yet your spirit has been elevated. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Isaiah 61:1 is not merely written language, it is the reality of one who has been anointed. You do not enter this new reality as one restarting life. You are not returning to a starting line. You step forward as one who has completed a hidden season of formation, as one who has received a confirming seal. The years of testing did not diminish you, they matured you. The silent days did not render you unseen, they established your foundation. And now, as I lay my hand upon you, this is not a random beginning, but the continuation of a journey ordained from the beginning. Remember that one who is commissioned does not exalt himself, he is appointed. And when I position you in a new place, You do not need to prove anything. You need only walk in conviction. The Lord is my strength and my song, Psalm 118-14. Therefore, your power does not rest in former credentials, but in my present presence. So step through the door with your eyes set forward. Lift your head, for the new season has opened. Walk as one who knows he has been prepared. Speak as one who knows he has been anointed. And when old doubt attempts to draw you backward, remind your soul that you no longer stand where you once stood. You have been formed. You have been affirmed. You have been entrusted with authority. This season does not demand trembling, it invites movement. It does not require self-questioning, it calls for faith. You are no longer one learning how to begin. You are one who has completed a chapter and now enters the next bearing heaven's mark upon your brow. Lift your head. The door stands open. The oil has been poured. You are ready. Now that my word has laid a foundation beneath your feet and the new season has unfolded before you, I invite you to step deeper, not by physical motion, but by the opening of your soul. Do not merely hear and retain, respond, for covenant is always mutual. When I speak, I await your voice in trust. Before you continue your journey, offer to me your petition with an unveiled heart, with sincerity unmingled, with faith undivided. As a child approaching a father in unshadowed light, Almighty God, who has opened a new season over my life, today I bow in reverence and trust, asking you to steady my steps as I enter the current you have initiated. Keep my mind from returning to former territories of fear and doubt. Anchor me firmly in the promise you have spoken, so that though circumstances shift, my soul remains planted like a tree by streams of water. For it is written that the one who trusts in you shall not be shaken. Teach me not to sustain by my own effort what you have granted, but to rest in the power of your presence, so that each step I take flows not from strain, but from assurance. Father of all grace, I also lift before you my heart, purify every motive, refine every intention, so that as I enter influence, I seek not personal elevation, but the reflection of your light. Teach me to preserve deep humility, even as doors open wide, that I may never forget that you alone are the source of all movement. As it is written, let the one who boasts, boast in the Lord. May I never forget the origin of the current I carry. Guide of the night path, grant me sharper discernment, that I may recognize the right moment, the right opportunity, and the right companions in this season. Keep me from moving ahead of your appointed rhythm, and from lagging behind what you have opened. But align me with heaven's motion, for it is written, the steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord, and I trust that every decision I make is covered by wisdom from above. Lord of eternal life, I ask that you make my words a refreshing spring among weary souls. When I open my mouth, let not dry speech emerge, but living water flow forth. Teach me to listen more than I speak, to understand more than I judge, and to give more than I withhold, so that wherever I am present, the atmosphere grows lighter and hope is awakened. For as it is written, the mouth of the righteous is a fountain of life. I desire that my lips become an instrument of that life, covenant-keeping God. I also ask that you guard the flame you have kindled within me. Do not allow the winds of life to extinguish it, but cause it to burn steadily, warmly, and brightly, even on days when I feel weak. Let the portion of fire you have placed in me sustain and raise me, as it is written, my grace is sufficient for you. I cling to that grace in every step. After these petitions, my soul overflows with deep gratitude, for I recognize that this new season is not something I opened by my own strength, but a gift you have given. Merciful Father, I thank you that you did not abandon me in former seasons of drought, but quietly prepared me for this hour. I thank you that every delay became protection. Every closed door became direction. Every waiting became formation, as it is written. All things work together for good for those who love God. I look back and see that your hand has never departed from my life. And now, amid the living water that flows, I offer you a second thanksgiving not only for what you have done, but for what you are doing and will yet do. I thank you for choosing me as a channel of life, not because I am flawless, but because you are faithful. I thank you for entrusting me with this portion of mission. I thank you that your presence is the assurance that I am never alone, as you have promised. I am with you always. I hold that word as a firm foundation beneath my feet. As I conclude this prayer, my heart no longer trembles but rests secure, no longer doubts but stands convinced. I know that what you have begun is not a passing whisper, but a work that will be completed. Therefore I walk in resilient peace, preserving humility and carrying confidence rooted in covenant. The season has opened. The current is flowing, and I have been positioned as one who walks with the one who goes before. I move not to prove, but to reflect, not to seek, but to impart. And from this place forward, every step I take will bear the imprint of life. For as it is written, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. And I rest in the certainty that this journey remains in your hands. Thank you for listening to this message. Know this: you are not merely an audience. You are chosen to live daily in the presence of the Word of God. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss any spiritual message. Amen.